Thanks, Bob. And now we'll have David Castillo from our Housing Division.
Thank you, Steve. And good morning. It's great to be here, and thanks for showing up and giving me the opportunity to talk to you a little bit about housing, a uncontroversial subject here. I'm Dave Castillo. I'm the county's housing director, and I'm going to cover three topics. First, what we do, what the housing division does. Secondly, following the theme of what Bob mentioned in terms of what we've heard and what we've learned, many of you in this room know we've been going through actually toward the end of a 3-year process, the affordable housing study, and we're pretty much ready to bring those findings and that recommendation to the board. And then again, based on this information, we are going to bring to the board our recommendation. Next slide. I'm the head of the department's housing division. Our mission, which is consistent with the county's vision, is really to create and sustain affordable housing that strengthens the community. We staff 3 sections that accomplish the following. We plan and report on the county's affordable housing and community development efforts. We provide information and referrals to tenants that connect them to landlords. We help people purchase their first home. We help improve energy efficiency and conditions in county-approved apartments, mainly apartments. Affectionately, we call them CAFs. We help tenants relocate during redevelopment processes. We manage federal funds that help people find work or start their business, support after-school programs for children, and services to prevent and end homelessness. We make affordable housing investment fund recommendations to the county board, that's the AHMP fund, to preserve or create affordable rental housing. We monitor and ensure compliance of county's financed or otherwise supported units that are roughly around over 7,000 units throughout the county. And we also staff 3 board-appointed commissions, the Citizens Development Advisory Commission, the Housing Commission, and the Tenant and Landlord Commission. Next slide. So this is what summarize what we've heard and learned through the 3-year process. As I think the county manager mentioned and Bob Duffy mentioned, this is really a great place to live, to work, to learn, and to play. But its increased competition for that space has really made it hard for a lot of folks to continue to live here. And that's sort of why I'm here and our division's here. This affects the county's ability to keep and attract employers. And one of the findings, and we'll go through a couple of these in a little bit, but really since 2000, the county's actually lost its diversity. We've had a net loss of households earning less than $100,000, which may sound astounding, but that's just what's happened in this county because it's such a great place, and that competition for housing, whether it's apartments, single-family homes, or townhouses, has really made it, it has forced, not forced, but folks have had to move to accommodate that. So we embarked upon a planning process to create an affordable housing of the comprehensive element of the comprehensive plan. I see a lot of you in this audience that have participated in that process, and thank you, because the Planning Commission, Housing Commission, and County Board this month, there's opportunities for folks in this room to participate, either going to meetings, sending letters to the board, giving us feedback through email and through the website. So the next 2 slides are going to illustrate a little bit about the need in that we've found through that process. First, on the rental side, again, these 2 slides shouldn't be a surprise to folks. Over the last 13, 14 years, we've actually lost affordable units. Most of the loss has been to rent increases rather than redevelopment or condo conversions. So there's been a net loss of about 13,500 units over the past 13 years. That's a lot of units that have been lost that are no longer affordable. Next slide. On the ownership front, similar story. We've got less information on the supply, but on the prices, back in 2000, you see the prices back there. Even a single-family house was relatively affordable to folks with a wide range of incomes. You fast forward to 2013, and I'm sure if we had the information for 2015, you can see that single-family homes and townhouses, even for folks with some decent jobs, it's no longer affordable to purchase a townhouse or single-family house. Condominiums are still relatively affordable, but I think that's, again, on the rental supply and on the ownership supply illustrates the challenge that we're trying to solve. And if we're looking for the future, if we're trying to figure out how do we accommodate folks in this community and people that want to rent and people that want to buy here, I think that's the focus of what these numbers show and what we're talking about next. Next slide. Next couple of slides talk about the Affordable Housing Master Plan. That's a draft. And the thing I like about it, again, after about a 3-year process that involves stakeholder representatives, consultants, staff, and really throughout the 3-year period, a pretty good community process that's engaged a lot of folks. We've heard from a lot of people, and there's a lot of issues that have gotten out there. I think one beauty the plan has is relative simplicity. I think Bob Duffy touched on simplicity. It's a little bit of a challenge in this community to do things simply, but this plan does that, and in a way, it's got 3 goals. 1, to provide a rental and ownership supply to match future growth. 2, ensure wide access to that supply of a wide range of folks. And then 3, ensure that the housing efforts that the county participates in contribute to a sustainable community. So those are 3 goals, pretty simple. This plan and the draft plan is in the website, and you're welcome to go at it. I'm going to talk simply about the goal number 1, which is the supply goal. Slide. So this is the rental objective. There's 2 objectives in the supply goal. 1, increase the supply of rental housing. And the objective, this is based on a forecast that the county did that's consistent with the county demographic and county land use forecast. That says that by 2040, about 17.7% of the housing units should be affordable to households earning $65,000 a year. That $65,000 a year figure is in today's dollars. In 2040, that's probably going to be a little bit different. But you can see by the pie chart behind me that it's a pretty good component of the county. If you looked at that pie chart today, it's about 9% of the stock is affordable to those the folks at that income level, a mix of county-supported units and market affordable units. But again, the future, and this is sort of why we're here, is talking about the future, is that if this forecast is accurate, we need this supply of housing to accommodate those households. Next, on the ownership side. It's another number. This says that in the next 25 years that we want about 28.4% of the ownership units created in this county to be affordable with folks earning up to about $125,000. That's a higher income range, but we think, again, in terms of what the ownership supply is, that to accommodate folks with moderate incomes, this is why we've got this goal in there. That equates to about 100 units per year if you annualize that figure of units that would be created for this income range. So next. And the question is, how do we get there? So the master plan is the document that we're asking the board to adopt. There's an implementation framework that's connected to that plan, and we're asking the board to accept that. And that implementation framework talks about all the tools that we have and some of the tools we're recommending to implement that plan. Those have been around here a long time. We've got service tools to implement the plan. We've got financial tools, mainly our AHMP trust fund, and we've got a lot of planning tools through the zoning ordinance to also to achieve that plan. Next. Finally, this is what's next. We've got the last, hopefully at least in this phase of what we're doing, 3 opportunities to come out and give us feedback. Tonight, the Housing Commission is going to take up this master plan and implementation framework. Next Tuesday, the 15th, the Planning Commission is going to review it. And then finally on the 19th, Saturday morning, bright and early, you're all welcome to come. The county board will take this up, and we'll go from there. Hopefully, if the plan's adopted, one of the fun parts about Arlington, I mean, we do a lot of planning, but there's some of us, I think most of us here, are interested in implementation. You're all part of that, so we hope it's adopted, and we look forward to implementing the plan as it's, hopefully, as we move forward. Be happy to answer questions during the discussion part. Thank you, and Steve, back to you.